Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! I really don't know what to ramble about today. Thank you, Rambler. It was great of you to have me over the other day. I feel like seeing the way you set your place up gave me lots of decorating ideas for my own home. I'll give you this gift, this my way of saying thanks. So if you like it, Carola. Okay, what'd she give us? Probably a chair or something. An hourglass. Alright. I should put all these things away really quick. Oh, jeez, hiccups. Because, yeah, I just, like, one of those things of, like, especially recording this early, I'm like, I haven't even done anything today. I've watched some videos. That's what I have done so far today. And I didn't do much last night other than edit, go to bed. So, like... And I don't want to just get rambling about other people on YouTube again. I am using my controller again today. I kind of bounce back and forth between the Joy-Cons and my original Switch Pro controller. Which I suppose is something I can talk about, of the prices for Switch stuff going up in the US. Y'all kind of brought that upon yourselves with who you decided to put in charge. I'm sorry to say. You're stopping by so early. Makes you feel like you might have good news to share, Peanut. Let's chat. Oh, don't mind the mess on my wooden table. I got clumsy and spilled something on it earlier. Oh, yeah, I could try to clean it up. You say you piling papers on top of it. Well, okay, no, there is something I can ramble about, and this is something I do feel decently passionate about, so this might take the entire video to ramble about, though maybe not. So, there's a growing number of countries and places, you know, around the world where it's becoming more and more of a requirement to access content online to prove that you are over 18, basically. And that applies to more than just adult content. That applies to, say, social media or, you know, many other things. Yeah, how about these companies just back off? The internet regulated itself just fine before they showed up. How's Dig running into you, Steven? How's things? Slatus. My second time running into you today. First is in your dream. No, your dreams. Sorry, I was wondering by accident. Nah, Simon, those were your dreams, my man. That's why there was cakes everywhere. Especially once you get companies starting to... I just kind of yeeted that bug. Especially once you start getting companies be like, no, we need to collect your personal data via, like, IDs or birth certificates. And it's like, no, you don't. You most certainly do not need to do this. You're choosing to, but you don't need to do it. Like, even if you're one of the people sitting there going, yeah, we need that. Surely you can't want random companies that you have no idea what they even are to have a copy of your license, or your photo ID, or your birth certificate, or all of the above. Because this is the internet. It's not a question of if that company that has all of your personal information suffers a data breach. It's a question of when does that company suffer it. It's going to happen. Especially once people realize, oh hey, these companies have all kinds of information they can make use out of. Like, That's the problem. They become incredibly risky places to store data simply because, well, they're a target. And, you know, the alternative of, well, you know, Facebook could hold it, or whatever social media of choice, I trust them with it even less. You know, the amount of times Facebook, Twitter, social media of choice, YouTube, has had data breaches and people have had to mass change passwords, it's absurd. Because they're big targets. Because people will enter their personal information accurately online. Which I suppose is another thing I should make mention of here. I am very much in the camp that everybody should avoid putting accurate personal information on the internet wherever possible. That's part of the internet regulating itself. That's why I feel like these companies coming in to be like, no, you need to prove you are who you say you are, is just them realizing that, you know, basic internet security exists, and they don't have data on a good number of people that are actually using the internet because they were smart enough to not give away their personal information on a whim. I'm not saying any of you guys who did that are not smart, just not internet smart. There's a difference. Think of it like smart to street smart. You know, that sort of thing. Like, as I mentioned before, there's basically nowhere on the internet that my full name exists. Even when signing content disputes. And I don't know how YouTube actually feels about this, but I honestly don't care. I use my legal signature, which is not my full name. But I use my legal signature. It is what is on government records as my signature. So, you know, which is most of my name. It's just not my whole name. My whole name is a little too identifying to just give away to random people. Let's see. We got the big face. I'm gonna start with the statues, because they're always way at the bottom, so. What's different? What is different? I'm not seeing a difference. Okay, looking at the other things. And if they're all fake, that has to be real. Let's see here. Okay. That's too much water. I can already tell. So that's fake. This is always genuine. This is fake. So this is always genuine. I don't know if this is real or not. Because again, I don't see a difference, but there's apparently a difference. I don't see anything. So I'm gonna check the museum to see if by any chance I already have the perfect painting. I could order it anyway, but then I would just be stuck with another painting. But yeah, like, all that's gonna do is open people up to more, basically, extortion. Like, it's just gonna put more people at risk. All because politicians just can't stop thinking about children. And you know, maybe that's the problem. maybe we shouldn't have people in charge that can't help but think of children. You know, that seems a little problematic to me. Like, it's so stupid. Like, when you have literally, like, internet security experts saying, like, yeah, never, ever upload an image of your ID anywhere online, and then government stepping in and going, so send this sketchy third-party company that was probably the lowest bidder your ID, so we can verify that you are old enough to view this content. Or how about you can frick off and just let me view it because I'm telling you I'm old enough. Like, you know, especially where, like, okay, the whole thing is like, well, one of the things that YouTube is going to be doing. We're going to talk with Snake here. Yo, Steven. Feeling strong, Colonel? Let's talk. I know that look. You want to do patrol jogs with me, don't you, Colonel? Anytime you want. Nah, I'm good. Well, one of the things that YouTube wants to do is implement an AI system to determine if somebody is old enough to be on the website by basically looking at their content, including how they look. And a lot of places want to use AI for that. Butterbean, hey, nice to see you. Let's chat. Glad you're never too busy to check in with me, Butterbean. It's very fair. But, like, here's the funny thing. Makeup can do wonders for girls to make them look older. And let's be real, it's an AI. Get a fake mustache or beard that looks remotely like your own hair color, and you could probably pass. As long as you don't look that young. At least to an AI. Like, to a real human, it would be obvious, but to an AI, probably not. Like, that's the thing. Like, AIs can be fooled pretty easily. And, like, it's not gonna work. The funniest thing I've seen... Sort of silly since I'm inside the shop all day, but sunny weather helps me work faster. Maybe it's time to make it shorter sleeves. One of the funniest things I've seen was somebody who basically was in one of the test countries for this sort of thing, who was determined, you know, by this AI to be an adult, shaved his beard, and then was determined by this AI to be a child. Like, you know, well, not child, but like under 18 kind of thing. And it's like, well, I guess every guy is about to have a beard, whether they want one or not. Like, just so they don't have to worry about having their accounts restricted or banned. You know. It's so just stupid. And like, as I made mention of, the internet regulated itself just fine before all these companies started showing up. It's gotta be cooking. Sorry, just a little preoccupied there, Mel. Jamaican. Tea, making my specialty. Pickled veggies. And a recipe for pickle. I already have one, but thanks. You already know this recipe, huh? Someone else you can give it to? The Nooklings. Diva! Zoops. So I'd see you, slaves. Swing by sometime. Working on a new mooncake recipe. What's that face for? Because it's not a moon pie. I've never had a moon pie. Don't even know what a mooncake is. I mean, I think I know, but I don't know. It sounds vaguely familiar. Hey, Steven, great to see you. Let's chat. So the rocks. I want to lay out and enjoy the weather, Nightshade. That is fair. I'm pretty sure I saw Pinky over here somewhere. There she is. There she is. Good morning, boy. What's up? We're walking around looking for you. Just playing single player hide and seek and I won. Very fair. But, like, the, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like, I'd say, 2000 to 20... Yeah, probably, 2010, 2012, that sort of range. Before companies really started taking a big look at the internet. It regulated itself plenty fine. Sure, a lot of us saw adult content before we were 18. So did our parents. So did their parents. Like, what is the big deal? Like, I'm sorry, but seeing a body part that, you have a 50% chance of already having isn't gonna, turn you into a massive deviant and horrible person. It's literally, if it did, grade 6 health class would turn everybody into deviants. We're literally taught how the body works and shown diagrams of what each person, each gender's body looks like. I don't see what the issue is. I'm gonna be honest. Of which I know I've been hit with the response before of, well, you'll understand when you're a parent. No, I won't. Because if I don't understand now, bringing a life into the world ain't gonna make me go, yeah, I don't want that life to ever see other gender body parts. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. I can understand keeping it from them while, they're definitely too young to understand any of it. That makes sense. But I'm not gonna sit and police their online actions to, make sure, they're definitely not lying about their age here, are they? Or here? I don't care. If someone is old enough to be curious, they're at the age where they should learn about it before they make bad decisions. Right, I need to go check paintings. Because, let's be honest. Of all the countries in the world, the ones with the highest rates of young pregnancy are the ones that try to practice abstinence only, never telling anybody about anything. Because people are gonna get curious, and then they're gonna try it, not knowing what they're doing. There's Flurry. This twinkling painting expresses the beauty of the sky magnificently. I'm almost moved to tears. Never mind, here come the waterworks. Hold on. Didn't you donate this piece? True patron of the arts. I'm sure I'm not the only one who appreciates your generosity, Powderpuff. I mean, that's what I'm in here doing now, is making sure I can donate another thing. Okay, it looks like I have not donated the perfect painting, so let's go get the perfect painting. But yeah, I will stop rambling about this now, because I've probably been going on about it for way too long at this point, but it annoys me so freaking much. because, like, I say I'm going to stop and then I'm going to carry on here. Like, I've been on the internet for a long time. Like, I've been using the internet since I was 5. Like, yeah, I would have been about 5 when I first used the internet. And back in those days, 98. Okay, afternoon might be really good. It is only Wednesday. So. But like back in those days, like that was when online advertisements were downright malicious. You know, there wasn't terribly many websites. Google actually worked and showed you what you were searching for, not what it thinks you were searching for instead. That has to be some of my least favorite crap, is like when you search for something and every single search result is for something else. And it's like, I'm not searching for that. I'm searching. And the response I've seen from people when I complain about it online, other places, is like, well, you just need to know how to use a search engine. You need to put this in brackets and do this in this. And it's like, no, I need to type out what I'm looking for and the search engine give me what I'm looking for and stop trying to guess what I'm looking for. That's what I need. That's what we all need. It's what plants crave. I have no interest in anything else. Neither should anyone else. Like, I don't know why we have put up with the search engines being absolutely crap for so long without another search engine showing up and going, hey, so you know how search engines used to work? I work like that. Come use me. I would switch to that search engine in a frickin' instant. But yeah, like, the internet was not a safe place when I was younger, but it was a pretty well regulated place. Like, and even with that, just on, you know, the topic of, well, we need to protect kids. I will fully admit, I did not grow up with social media. It was not a thing when I was a kid. Well, it kind of was. We had MSN. But that was it. MSN, Instant Messenger, AOL, like, we had things like that, but we didn't have, like, Facebook. Or Instagram, I think it's called, or Twitter, X, whatever. Yeah, X video, that's a website. You don't want to go to it if you're under 18. But, like, which, you know, I'm fine making that joke, because let's be honest, that is the kind of thing that, yeah, back in the old days of the internet, if a website were to name itself something that's similar to an adult content website, it would have been reported to its server host, and its server host probably would have dropped it because it was clearly phishing. Which is funny to say while I'm fishing in-game. But you know what I mean, of like, it was trying to get clicks off of people trying to go to the other website. Quite honestly, if I was the server host for Twitter, I would have denied them the name change. Like, simple as. But, like, you know, I didn't grow up with social media, so I really don't know how bad the impacts of that could be on someone's mental health. Facebook started being a thing when I got into, like, high school. But, like, it's one of those things of, it should not be on those companies or government regulation for parents to do their jobs as parents Maybe I'm the weird one there. Like, if you do not wish for your child to use social media, you should be making sure they don't, not hoping the government does it for you. You know? But I've definitely rambled about this way too frickin' long. I was just fishing with my eyes, not my ears. Ooh, that's a valuable butterfly, I'm pretty sure. It'll despawn by the time I get up there, probably. Music in this game, I swear. Makes me so sleepy. But, now I can't think of anything else to ramble about. The issue of never really doing anything. Yeah, I got like nothing. Suppose I can make mention of like the yummy cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Have come out, and it's funny watching some people's reaction to the names. Cause like, I'll admit, names are dumb, but I don't care. Here you are, Steven. Something's bothering me. I want to talk about our secret phrase, cool greeting. I want to change it, something more intelligible. I mean, we can try. So he doesn't like cool greeting. He wants an intelligent greeting. That looks right. If it's not spelled right, it works. Now he's got smart greeting. He's got a real good mouthfeel. Yep, sounds good to me, man. He really likes smart greeting. He's gonna use our secret greeting every chance he gets. Good on him. It's literally just, I just changed a word in it, but it's fine for Simon. I feel like I had something I was about to try to ramble about, and then I forgot. That's just how my brain works. Yeah, I'm just completely blanking now. Jeez. Wait, there is also a new Terror Raid in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet I should probably get to at some point. I'll have to do that like later today. I'm not going to have time this morning. But... I mean, in theory, I could just do a stream on like Pokemon Scarlet, but last time I did that, I made some people mad by calling the VGC competitive Nintendo competitive. Because for whatever reason, this person got very upset that I insinuated the accurate fact that Nintendo basically owns Game Freak / the Pokemon Company. Like, gonna be honest, if they didn't, do you really think they would keep themselves exclusive to the Switch? Well, / Nintendo consoles? Like, come on now. Companies like money. Every company's going cross-platform except Nintendo. And give Nintendo a few years, they'll catch up. They'll get there too. There's just more money in being cross-platform. The funniest part about that, though, was like, I was literally referring to it as basically Nintendo competitive, for the competitive you play, just hitting online in the game that says Nintendo on it, and Smogon competitive for Pokemon Showdown. As if Smogon has anything to do with Showdown specifically, other than they use Smogon's rules. Like, I'm 90% sure Smogon and Showdown, while working together, are not the same thing. And you can play under Smogon rules in the games themselves. You just have to find other people willing to play under Smogon rules. But a moray eel. You're in love, that's a moray. Yeah. They could have done a better joke there. It literally just kind of got funny to me of just how butthurt this person was getting. But at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, this isn't worth arguing about. And I was literally only even mentioning it because I don't like how the in-game competitive works, because it's always double battles, and I'm not a fan of double battles. They're just kind of brain dead. And anyone arguing otherwise, look at the top teams, man. They're all the same team. They're all the same idea of a team. Of sweep as hard as you can, as fast as you can. Hope you win the speed ties. You know. There's no real major strategy to Nintendo competitive. It's just Unga Bunga, bonk head as fast as possible. It's caveman Pokemon. And like, that can be fun occasionally, but I'd rather have a game that's more of a vying for position kind of thing, where there's a lot of strategizing going on. The problem is, and why Nintendo doesn't like doing this sort of thing for competitive, basically following akin to Smogon rules, is because the games would take too long. If you get into a really good match, even on Showdown, which has fast animations basically, but still has some level of animation, you could be sitting there for an hour easily for one battle. A lot of more competitive stuff tends to be best of 3. You're sitting there for an hour every time. Tiny shades. Those are pretty tiny. Not my thing, though. Right, I picked up the recipe bottle. Hello, mysterious stranger. While reading my diary the other day, I came across a recipe. I never cease to amaze myself. You can do great things with this recipe if you follow it to a T. I'd be honored if you crafted it. The king of craft? Chatter. Chatter cheese? I already didn't make a double bed. I don't need that recipe. I'll leave the ants be. They're eating that turnip for me. But yeah, like, the literal best way I can describe the two basically main competitive forms of Pokemon is the Nintendo side is fast Unga Bunga caveman Pokemon, while Smogon competitive is basically like an airplane dogfight. Both players are constantly vying for the advantage. They want the best position. Which is where in Smogon competitive, you'll see a ton of pivot moves. You'll see a lot of Pokemon that are there exclusively to be a pivot point. Like, imagine for a moment, both you and your opponent KO each other at the same time. Like, you use a recoil move that knocks out your Pokemon, but also KOs theirs. You would then want to switch into a Pivotmon so that you can see what your opponent brings in, and then switch accordingly, unless your Pivotmon is the solution. Your opponent is probably either going to swap into their answer to your pivot or their own pivot at that point. Which can lead to a lot more even just double switches, where your opponent might hard switch and then you pivot and then, you know, you're at an advantage, or you'll hard switch and your opponent will pivot and then they're at an advantage. So now you've got to switch again because they now have the advantage. So you've now got to try to get that momentum back on your side. You know. Meanwhile, in double battles, it doesn't matter if you switch. 2 not very effective attacks is still probably enough to deal considerable damage to something. You don't want to be taking that, even if you have something that can take it. So you may as well just stay in, hope you win the speed race, and get your damage in. There's a reason gimmick teams are not used in Nintendo competitive. They really can't be. They're just too slow. Meanwhile, a Smogon tournament, you might actually see a gimmicky weather team, or trick room team, or, you know, things like that. You might actually see them playing at and competing at a high level because they can. They're able to, and it's nice. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things about Mega Beedrill, is just how useful that thing is as a pivot, while also being just an amazingly powerful Pokemon. Like, most Megas, sacrificed something in their stat gains. They didn't get 100 points that they can actually make full use out of. Mega Beedrill did. It gained attack, and it gained speed, and nothing else. Which makes it absurdly powerful. Because, you know, you're basically now dealing with the perfect pivot sweeper. Especially where it has adaptability, so it gains a bonus to same type attack bonus, turning its U-turn into a much more powerful attack while also pivoting. It's not really an exaggeration to say that Mega Beedrill can still deal about 20-ish% of your health, even resisted with a U-turn, while pivoting. You know, and that's into a defensive mon, you know. You then get, you know, if it can actually deal good damage to you, you're kind of screwed, you know. I want to sell. I need to not sell the Moray Eel, but that's the only thing I need to hang on to. There we go. 1505. Well, 15005. Like, yeah, it's just... I am very much looking forward to having Mega Beedrill back. That's all I need to see from Legends ZA to be like, yep, this game's a winner. And it'll almost certainly have Mega Beedrill. At least I hope. Please, Nintendo, give me my B. I want my B. I need it. You know, I'm gonna hang on to the Moray Eel for tomorrow. Because I'm gonna have the painting to donate anyway. And Blathers never said anything about paintings. Don't donate it now. Nah, I'll wait for tomorrow. Especially because, like, I got to get ready for streaming IRL. Well, when I'm recording this, which, as a reminder for folks, is on Tuesday. So, I gotta get ready for streaming in an hour and 19 minutes. So, you know, I want to be able to do that. I'm going to be ending things off here. If I do have an amazing turnip price in the afternoon, I will still be selling my turnips. If the price is only okay going into the afternoon, I'll probably just hang on to them for tomorrow. But yeah, with that said, I thank you all very much for watching and listening to me ramble incoherently for, what, 39 minutes? Hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then. And now in this end card, I'd like to ask, if you liked the video, could you maybe hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? It'd help me out a lot. Thanks a bunch.